You can...
Sorry to get
Ready, Mike?
this right now.
Yep.
Do you need the paper, or are you good?
I'm good on Gruber.
I was thinking of removing
I
it. I
need the
enjoyed this.
paper for salmon.
That's fine. You want to sit up here?
I would agree with that statement.
Huh?
Yes.
You know, there's another chair over there.
Yeah, but this one is really comfortable, and I don't want to risk it.
They're all the same.
They are all the same.
But this one is adjusted perfectly.
That's not what I wanted at all.
Carrie, if you're listening, half listening, feel free to object.
AK, turn off your music.
I know, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to, but
Voice for Carrie.
you can
Stop stealing her from me.
You guys just like me too much.
Yeah.
I'm alright.
Carrie and I cannot come to Boulder with us on Saturday.
What?
I know.
You were over us to tell us about at home.
Really creepy sounding.
Sorry. Sorry about you.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Gruber. Would you please state your name and spell your last name?
Objection, speculation.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Richard Gruber, Grouper.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Where do you live?
14506 Snapper Lane, Fishhawk Ranch Subdivision, Tahoe, State of Lone Star.
Why are you here today?
Because I have
we
been
really talked
accused
about-
of the kidnapping and murdering my neighbor Sarah Salmon.
Did you know Sarah Salmon personally?
Yes.
When, if ever, had Sarah been to your house?
Only once.
When was this?
Or did I say the yard thing there?
That is technically to your house, so depending on how that question.
Sometimes she would stop on her way home from school to play with my dog in my yard, but I would send her
Because we already
home
talked about it.
Did she ever go inside your house?
only once.
When was this?
Her perception is
The night she disappeared.
Cut out the
Let's talk about that night, Mr. Cooper. Why did Sarah come to your house that night?
She knocked on my back door around.
Where did it actually come from?
I'm gonna phrase that differently. She came to my back door around midnight and was crying hysterically, and her face was all puffy and bruised, and she was bleeding.
What did I say here? And what did you do at that point? Did she say why she was bleeding?
I'm
Objection,
sorry, I'm just trying to get
bleeding.
my head back
I know.
into this.
He didn't answer! I'm sorry, Your Honor, I will rephrase the question.
One more time.
What did you do at that point? You want me to just rephrase?
Is there a way? Yeah, can we rephrase? I really hate the "and then what" or "what was next." Sorry.
What did you do when Sarah showed up at your door broken and bleeding because her father had beat the shit out of her?
Well, I laughed for a good hearty 5 minutes, and took a YouTube video of that, posted it, and
Then I invited her inside for some...
To make a YouTube video.
well, it was
That's
a
a
video.
you porn video.
I'm pretty sure YouTube could have taken that thing down.
Oh my god.
It wasn't a snuff film. Come on.
I mean, I cut
That's
out the
David's
part where I
thing.
killed her. Jeez.
Thanks,
Okay, wait, so why did Sarah come to your house?
Why didn't she come to my house?
Why did she come inside your house? When did she come inside your house? How did she come inside your house? How many times did she come inside your house? Did you stop her from coming inside your house? Did you help her come inside your house? Did you come inside the house with her? Leading? No? Alright, I'll keep going. How many times did you come inside the house?
That night in general.
Laughing too hard. Oh, Jesus.
Why did Sarah come to your house?
Nope, we're using a different word, or I'm just gonna think about this past 30 seconds.
Why did Sarah go to your house that night? Why did she come to your back door? With wood or something? Is that what she likes?
Not what I like.
It was midnight. Mr. Gruber was there.
I'm Mr.
Mr. Macco was there.
Are we done?
I'm done. Let's talk about that night. Why did Sarah go to your house?
She showed up around midnight. She was crying hysterically. She was bleeding. Her face was bruised.
Salmon cross.
Did she explain why?
She said that her father...
Wait, was that leading if I say, like, if he says,
I'll just volunteer it.
okay, well,
I mean, did she explain why?
yeah, did she explain why she was there?
I don't think that's that leading.
That's, because I said, why did she come to your house? And then,
I would say, did she explain the bruises? Like,
Yeah.
okay. But it's okay if I say, like, start with a did she explain blah, 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 blah.
I think so.
or if I just say, like, well, she was all bloody, battered, bruised, other B words, and you say, did she explain why she got hurt? No, shit, I forgot.
It's fine. We'll
Yeah, do what
just
you
move
want.
forward. Why did Sarah go to your house?
Are we going all the way back to the
Yes.
beginning? Okay. She showed up around midnight. She was crying hysterically. She was bleeding. Her face was all bruised, and she had said her father was beating her.
Objection. Hearsay.
What would you argue? Objection, hearsay. No, I'm not.
Isn't that excited utterance? This is hearsay, but it's an exception but it's admissible hearsay under exception 8032. Sarah was crying hysterically and was visibly upset, and she's explaining why.
May I respond? You may. Your Honor, the witness has failed to establish that at the time that Sarah told him this, she was under the excitement of the event that she was commenting on.
So it would be better to say the then emotional.
Did he just say that she was hysterical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he just say that she was bruised and bleeding?
Yes.
Okay, so, Your Honor, we have laid sufficient foundation to show that through his opinion of Sarah being hysterical, that she was clearly under the excitement of the event that she was telling him about, namely that her father had beaten her, and that's why she was hysterical.
Okay. So the excited utterance has to be that immediate response to that situation that led her to be that way or say that thing. Whereas the then emotional, then mental state, then existing mental or emotional state doesn't have to be immediate.
Right, there's no time requirement after 803.2. Because 803.1, present sense impression, has to be like 10 seconds, could be too long on that one.
Oh, okay.
803.2, excited utterance, that you just need to show they're still under the stress of the excitement. That could be a matter of days if it's something really big and bad.
Okay.
803.3, that's just a mental state, emotional state, physical state.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Did she explain, or are you going to say that? If you don't, then I'm going to say, did she explain why she was so hysterically upset? What did you do at that point?
Well, my friend David Macker was visiting, and he's a registered nurse, and said he could bandage her up. So they went down to the guest bedroom in my basement, and David asked me to put together an ice pack.
Did you do that?
Yeah, I went to my freezer and put some ice cubes in a Ziploc baggie and took it down, and David put it on her eye to stop the swelling.
What happened once David puts the ice pack on her eye? What did you do?
I told her that we should call the police if her father was really beating her. That was something that needed to be addressed.
And how did she respond?
She refused to call the police. She thought it would get her father in trouble and that she'd just be in more trouble. She was scared.
Objection, speculation. Move to strike.
She told me that! Sorry.
How is that speculation, if that's what she said?
I would just, in your response, say, Your Honor, she just told him that she was scared.
Okay. So I can respond to that.
Yeah, because that's called, hi, I'm only half paying attention because I'm actually playing Hades on my phone, so I thought that he was speculating as to her condition.
Nope, cool, okay. Let's hope that the opposing counsel is doing that.
See, that's what I'm saying. They might have phoned him in that day.
Cool. So I'm going to cut out the email there as well.
Mr. Grouper, when, if ever, did you call the police yourself?
Is it
I
okay?
didn't.
It looks okay.
Why not?
Otherwise, all the other stuff.
past experiences with the, I don't like talking to the police due to my history.
What about your history makes you uncomfortable talking to the police?
I am a registered sex offender in the state of Lone Star, and
Can he say something like, is this a direct? Like, I was
young.
I was convicted of
stupid.
this 20 years ago, and, they're still coming to me with this stuff. Like,
I wouldn't go so far as to say they're still coming to me and stuff, but I was
But, like,
convicted over
leading-
20 years ago.
yeah.
I've changed a lot since
Well,
then.
I had written down, I'm registered as a sex offender in Lone Star. I served time for that crime, which I committed 20 years ago, and I'm not allowed, now I'm not allowed to be alone with children, but, it was a long time ago.
I'm not sure you even need to go as far as I served time.
Okay.
well, your concern yesterday was if I bring up the crime in the past at all, then that's opening the door for them to question me about it further.
I mean, it comes in anyway. That's the problem.
So if we just say it happened 20 years ago, that's it.
25, thank you.
Over 20 years ago.
and if they try to bring in the specifics, we will just re-argue the whole.
403 objection.
Yeah.
And 404.
And 609.
What was 609?
609 is impeachment permissible by prior convictions.
Oh,
You still can't go into the underlying condition or underlying crime of those convictions.
okay.
Unless it meets the 403, 404, and 401 bars.
Okay. So what makes you uncomfortable talking to the lawyer, talking to the police without a lawyer?
I didn't say that.
That's what you just said. You said, I didn't want to talk to the police because I feel
You added the
uncomfortable
lawyer
because of
part.
My,
He didn't add the lawyer
what
part.
did you say? Feel comfortable talking to the police without a lawyer? Or
I
just no
didn't say
without a
anything
lawyer?
about a lawyer.
Oh. Why do you feel uncomfortable talking to the police, Mr. Gruber?
I'm a registered sex offender in the state of Lone Star, and was convicted of that 25 years ago, but I am still uncomfortable speaking to police without a lawyer present.
How has this offense affected your life since then? Since
Objection,
getting out?
relevance.
Mostly because I'm trying to get you to say you're not allowed to be alone with anyone under age 18, but I could also rephrase the question just to say, were you alone when when you let Sarah inside the house?
Why are you giving up on a relevance objection? Relevance is like the easiest hurdle to overcome.
Oh, what were you saying?
I said,
I feel like that's also about too. Do you really want to give up on this counselor?
I know. I was like, yes, I do. I have other important questions.
I had that moment up there where I really wanted to respond with, yes.
Yeah.
Can we move on now?
Okay, wait. So what did I say?
I said objection, relevance, and you said I can rephrase that.
Yeah. What did I ask originally?
How about I just
That wasn't
say,
in my
I'm a
plan.
convicted sex offender in the state of
no,
Lone
no, no.
Star for a crime I committed 25 years ago, and part of my rehabilitation is I am not allowed to be alone with anyone under the age of 18.
Well, if you forgot to say that, and I had to ask you, how has this conviction affected your life since then? And they object to relevance. I can say, Your Honor, this is directly relevant to the case because it goes to, this is a case about a minor, and that is something we anticipate that the defense will use Mr. Gruber's prior conviction as a sex offender to prove crucial elements of their case.
Your objection is overruled. Sit down, shut up, counselor, you're an idiot.
If you aren't allowed to be alone with anyone under age 18, Mr. Gruber, why did you let Sarah inside the house?
I wasn't alone, David was there.
Mr. Gruber, let's return to a discussion of your interactions with Sarah. What happened after she refused to call the police?
She asked if she could.
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, this is hearsay, but it is admissible under Exception 8033, then existing state of mind to show that Sarah
Counselor, can you make an offer of proof? What is this witness about to testify to?
Your Honor, the witness is about to testify to why Sarah refused to call the police and her plans for how to spend the rest of the night. She was going to ask Mr. Gruber. She asked Mr. Gruber whether she could stay at his house. He then refused and asked her to stay in the motorhome.
Counselor, your objection's overruled. If you keep on making these frivolous objections, I'm going to recommend sanctions to the attorney disciplinary counsel.
Would it be better for me to just say, may I make an offer of proof?
Yep.
Right away?
Yep.
And then I would just explain what I think he's going to say?
Well, I would still do Your Honor, this is hearsay, but this is admissible hearsay pursuant to 8033. If I may make an offer of proof.
Okay.
She is about to testify that Sarah asked him to stay at his house that night, which goes directly to her plan.
Okay. So, Mr. Gruber, let me re-ask the question. What happened after Sarah refused to call the police?
She asked if she could stay at my house that evening and go back the next day to speak with her mother after her father left for work.
How did you respond to this request?
I said that I was not comfortable allowing her to do that. Like I said, in my status, even if David was in the house, it just the situation made me uncomfortable, but I offered to let her stay in my motorhome.
Where was your motorhome located?
Parked in my driveway.
And how did Sarah respond to your suggestion?
She said that was fine and that she would do that, and I went to bed.
What did David do then?
I don't know, assuming he went to bed as well.
What happened after you went to
The
bed?
action taken by the president.
When I woke up the next morning, the motorhome was gone. And I figured Sarah had gone home and maybe David had run an errand to grab breakfast or something. And
Oh,
then I got a knock on my door and it was Detective Tarpon told me that Sarah was missing.
Let's talk about the police investigation around Sarah's disappearance.
Sure.
Did you speak with the police?
I told the detective that I wasn't comfortable speaking to them without my lawyer present, but I said that they could search my house.
Why did you let them search your house?
I didn't have anything to hide.
What, if anything, did the police search reveal?
I was informed that they found traces of Sarah's blood in the house.
How do you think Sarah's blood got into your
Well,
house?
she was bleeding when she showed up.
Let's talk about your motorhome. You told Sarah that she could stay there overnight, but then found out it was missing the next morning. Was the motorhome ever found?
Are you trying to set up your...
Yes, I was notified a few days later that the police had discovered the
Well,
motorhome
no,
and
they
asked
really-
if they could search it, which I said was fine.
Where was the motorhome found?
I'm told they found it at a 7-Eleven.
No, is that...
And had you ever
No,
been
you
to that
can't control.
7-Eleven?
You actually have to set it up and put it in.
You said the police
Yeah.
asked if they could search the motorhome. What, if anything, did that search reveal?
I'm told that they found
Where's my book?
traces of Sarah's blood, her fingerprints, my fingerprints, and some unidentifiable fingerprints.
How do you think Sarah's blood and fingerprints got into your motorhome?
Objection, speculation.
Your Honor, this is a ration-based observation based on his knowledge of Sarah's situation and the fact that she was bleeding when he arrived and when he let her stay in the motorhome. He is just making a rational observation of how he thinks that the blood got into the motorhome.
Counselor, your objection is overruled. I'm imposing sanctions.
Excellent. Mr.
Counselor,
Hoover,
you are awful at this.
again, why or how do you think Sarah's blood and fingerprints got into your motorhome?
Well, she went out there to sleep. Her bandages may have, she could have still been bleeding, and I'm guessing she touched something while she was out there.
Mr. Gruber, you mentioned earlier your friend David Mackerel.
Yeah.
Was he staying with you?
Was.
For how long?
He was supposed to stay a week.
Was he staying with you the night that Sarah disappeared? Or the night that
Yes.
Sarah came to your house, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Have you talked to him since the night of Sarah's disappearance?
No, I tried to call him when he didn't come back that day, but his cell phone was disconnected.
Mr. Gruber, did you kidnap Sarah Salmon?
Oh,
Mr. Gruber, did you kill Sarah Salmon?
maybe.
Objection, Your Honor. This goes directly to disproving my case, and I'm not all right with that.
Oh my crap. It is devastating to my
We
case.
were just coding that. What was the number, Carrie, of the bullshit objection?
724! That's bullshit.
I said that we should just, if we make it to the finals, we should say that. Or Mamie should say that.
My response was, I believe you are the one with the job right now.
That's true, because you are going to the litigation firm, so.
Let's not fuck up Mamie's future, shall we?
All right, so let me just go through.
I said if we
a
took
couple-
it to the last round and you guys were feeling ballsy, you should have somebody else come in as David Mackerel and just say, do you have any further witnesses? Yes. David Mackerel, and have him storm in.
The defense calls David Mackerel to the stand. And again, that is how DU then lost the CUDU Cup in 2013.
No, it's fine.
It'd be
I
legendary.
didn't have any pride in you guys anyway. It's cool.
If we make it to the semifinals, you and I, damn it, you can't.
If you guys
Why?
make it through to Sunday, I'm gonna be there.
I was gonna say, you and I are taking shots.
Oh, I know. I could do shots of
Water.
water. Oh, do the shots of carbonated beverages.
Yep.
Ugh. Okay,
hey,
we'll just go have a really delicious meal or something.
Yeah, based on,
There's a lot of really good restaurants.
I know, there are a lot of really good restaurants on, what's that street called?
Oh yeah, the street.
The one that we
Pearl
walked
Street?
along?
I don't remember.
Pearl Street?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's it. We had just explored it a couple of weekends ago, so I was just like, I remember we walked along this major street with like shops and restaurants, and there were lots of restaurants looked really good. Hey Mamie, based on the redirect stuff that we had to do for second round last Saturday,
Uh-huh.
let me know what you think of these questions.
Okay.
These are just some suggestions based on what we had done before.
Did you have your
but-
cross again?
Yeah, I have that. Let's talk about the night that Sarah came to your house. Why did you decide to let her in?
Because she was crying hysterically. She was bleeding and bruised, and I just wanted to help.
Were you alone that night?
No, David was with me.
Let's talk about the police investigation. Why didn't you immediately inform the police about your missing motorhome?
I didn't realize it was missing. I thought David had taken it, and I told him that I wasn't comfortable speaking to them without a lawyer present.
Again, you've never been to the 7-Eleven where your motorhome was found?
Nope.
Let's talk about your friend David Mackerel. Why didn't you provide the police with his phone number?
It was disconnected. I didn't think it would be helpful.
Was there anything else that I mean, like, I don't really remember. The only thing that I could think of was the bandages was the other thing that they had mentioned, and I wasn't even going to put together a redirect for that.
The fact that even the judges were like, oh, one too many. Oh my god. I'm one guy.
Which
If
question was this?
they bring that up again,
The
I'm just
second round.
gonna say, I'm not aware of the extent of their investigation of my
No,
house.
what I want you to do is if anybody uses the word presumption again,
Yes.
please,
do exactly what
please
you
flip
did.
that shit on them.
Well,
The
it's
problem
hard
is,
to
you and I cannot look at each other when that happens.
She was so pissed, that was awesome.
She was pissed at the entire
Who
trial.
the fuck uses the term presumption in a cross-examination?
Let's presume, that's what she said, let's presume.
Well, if we're presuming,
Yeah,
then.
well, as long as we're presuming, I mean, I guess.
I just like that the judge, he laughed.
He sure did.
So, Counselor, what you're actually saying is that you want me to assume something. Now, you know what they say about assuming things, right?
It means that you're a bitch.
And Counselor, you didn't actually prepare this cross, did you? You don't actually know what you're doing, do you? This
Although
is
you're looking
answer
very
one.
cross right now, should I keep talking?
Yeah. She was not very happy.
No. Good.
Was this with you?
Hmm?
Cold blood killer.
Yeah.
that was awesome.
That was Nick.
I couldn't keep a straight face when he said that. A cold-blooded
Did
killer.
they say something like that in their closing prosecution?
Yeah, they can.
Like, there's nothing we can do about that?
No.
I mean, they call him a cold-blooded killer, and then in our closing, we would just say, like, there's no evidence to show that he actually killed Sarah,
Or that he's
or that he did it in cold blood, let alone that he did it in cold blood.
You don't even want to go that far. There is no evidence that he did anything to Sarah other than try to help her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Yeah, they just said gold. I was writing notes and I looked up and was like,
They said it like 4 times.
Anyway, I didn't think there was anything else
hilarious.
really that they mentioned that was worth redirecting on. It was like, why did you let her inside when you couldn't be alone with her? The missing motorhome, like, why didn't you tell them that right away?
Didn't want to talk.
The bandages.
Oh yeah,
and,
she
like-
harped on that one pretty hard.
Well, that's why I was just kind of like, why didn't you immediately inform the police about the missing motorhome? It's like, well, I didn't have a chance, essentially.
Oh my god, it's so mean.
You handled that one actually really well. You know, by the time they arrived, they told me Sarah's missing, and I didn't want to talk about my lawyer.
Yeah.
That is my right
I know.
as an American
Hey.
citizen.
That's my right not to talk to them right away. I don't have to talk to them without a lawyer present.
It's their fault for not coming back and talking to me when I had my lawyer.
Look, I have a Fifth Amendment right here, bitches. Fuck you all.
I don't know if
Wait,
you've
my-
read this little thing called the Constitution. It's a riveting read.
Yeah. All right.
We know.
So how did that sound? Okay.
Yeah, it did.
Your cross. Ready?
Go!
Let's talk about your motorhome.
No.
You let Sarah stay in your motorhome?
Yep,
The motorhome you claim was missing the next morning.
it was.
The motorhome that somebody stole the next morning.
You could say that.
The motorhome that son of a bitch David Mackerel stole out of my driveway. Girl in tow.
The motorhome that you own,
Well, I'm leasing it technically, but
but it's in your name. It was found just outside the 7-Eleven,
that's what I'm told.
located on Highway 202.
I believe so.
You work on Highway 202.
Also correct.
Your fingerprints were found inside the motorhome,
I own the motorhome.
and so was Sarah's blood.
Yes, as I said, she had went out there to sleep while still bleeding.
Let's talk about Sarah Salmon.
Oh.
You're not supposed to be alone with children under 18, are you?
No, fortunately David was there and I wasn't.
But Sarah had been to your house before.
In my yard to play with my dog, and I would always send her on her way.
Right, to play with your dog. She went to your house that night.
Correct.
In fact, she came inside your house that night.
Correct.
And her blood was found inside your house the next day.
She was bleeding when she arrived.
Let's talk about your friend David Mackerel. You claim that Mr. Mackerel was supposed to be staying with you for the week.
He was.
He arrived the day that Sarah showed up at your doorstep.
Correct.
You claim that he was gone the next morning.
He was.
You didn't
Taking
hear
my
from him.
motorhome.
You did not hear from Mr. Mackerel after this.
No, his phone number was disconnected.
Mr. Mackerel never said goodbye to you.
Nope,
You couldn't contact Mr.
I
Mackerel.
tried.
As you said, his phone was disconnected.
Yes.
None of his fingerprints were found in the motorhome, correct?
Get meaner.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
None of his fingerprints were found in the motorhome.
Okay. None of his fingerprints were found in the motorhome.
That's what I'm told.
None of his belongings were found in your house.
He must have taken them with him.
You refused to help police even look for him, correct?
I don't know what I could have done beyond their resources to help them find him.
Mr. Cooper, you are on trial for kidnapping and first-degree felony murder.
Apparently.
You refused to help the police find the one person who could corroborate your story.
I don't know how I would have helped.
No further
You
questions.
didn't try to help.
Should I
did.
push on
I called him. It was disconnected.
Immediately, I was like, is that how your voice gets when he visits your back door?
I didn't know what to do. I said stop. All right, so be meaner.
I mean, just pick up the intensity.
Okay, maybe I need to stand. One more time. All right? Mr. Grouper, let's talk about your motorhome.
Let's.
You let Sarah stay in your motorhome.
That's correct.
The motorhome you claim was missing the next morning.
Stolen.
The motorhome that you own.
Yes.
The motorhome that you own was found outside the 7-Eleven,
I was informed by the police.
and it was located on Highway 202.
Again, I was informed so.
You work on Highway 202.
Yes.
Your fingerprints were found inside the motorhome,
I own the motorhome.
along with Sarah's blood.
She was bleeding when she arrived.
So that's a yes.
So that's a yes?
Yes, she was bleeding when she arrived.
Mr. Grouper, let's talk about Sarah Salmon. You're not supposed to be alone with children under 18, are you?
No, but I wasn't alone.
But-
It was over.
Mr. Grouper, Sarah had been to your house before.
Only in my yard to play with my dog sometimes.
She went to your house that night.
Yes.
In fact, she came inside your house that night.
Yes.
And her blood was found inside your house the next day.
Because she was bleeding when she arrived.
So that's a yes.
Yes, she was bleeding when she arrived.
Let's talk about your friend David Mackerel. You claim that David Mackerel was supposed to be staying with you for the week, correct?
That's correct.
He arrived the day that Sarah showed up on your doorstep.
Yes.
You claim that he was gone the next morning.
He was gone.
You didn't hear from him after this.
No, I tried to call him and his phone was disconnected.
Mr. Mackerel never said goodbye to you.
No, he's kind of a dick.
Mr. Mackerel never said goodbye to you, and you couldn't contact Mr. Mackerel.
No, as I said, I tried to call him and his number was disconnected, and that's the only way I have of keeping in touch with my friends.
None of Mr. Mackerel's fingerprints were found in the motorhome.
That's what I have been told, although there were some smudges, probably his.
None of his fingerprints were positively identified inside of your motorhome.
That's what I have been led to believe.
None of his belongings were found inside of your house.
They were not. I'm guessing he took them with him.
In fact, you refused to help the police even look for David Mackerel, correct?
How would I have helped?
Mr. Grouper, you are on trial for kidnapping and murder.
Thank you.
You refused to help the police find the one person who could corroborate your story.
I don't know how I would have helped them find him.
But you refused to help them find the one person who could corroborate your story.
I couldn't have helped.
So is that a yes?
Depending on how we're doing double negatives here, I think it's a no.
You refused to help the police, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Grouper. No further questions. Damn! Smack
I
you!
mean, I kind of hope that if we make it to more of the final round, that we're on defense. Why? Because I think it would just be so much easier.
I don't know.
What they're saying is that you
I mean,
have
I
a really good
prosecution
defendant.
too.
I'm
What?
an asshole.
Yeah. It's alright. So am I.
It's good, because it's like, I don't have to deal with your bullshit crosses. That's fine. I don't have to deal with Michelle's bullshit crosses either.
My goal is still one time when I'm playing witness to just be able to say, Counselor, you're taking this entirely out of context.
I said that in STLA.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they said something, I was like, well, you're deliberately taking that out of context, but yes.
That was pretty funny. Okay.
Why is it always murder? Gosh.
Let's see how much of this you actually know.
Ooh, next to nothing.
Mr. Salmon, please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name.
Paul, is
Objections.
this
Respectfully.
Paul Salmon, S-A-L-M-O-N?
Your Honor. The witness knows his own name.
Soul is silent.
S-A-M-M-I-N apostrophe?
Clock goes S-A-L-M-O-N. The L is silent.
Where do you live, Mr. Salmon?
14510.
Hello. What up? I can't believe I said that to Hughes once. And I don't know how he forgot that the exact words were what up, but he spent like the full 10 minutes of class starting off with that.
14510 Snapper Lane, Fishaw Ranch Subdivision, Tahoe, State of Lone Star.
And why are you here today?
Because my daughter was kidnapped and murdered by that monster sitting over there.
Objection!
That monster's over there.
Speaking to the ultimate issue. This is improper expert testimony pursuant to Rule 704. This witness is a late witness and therefore not permitted to speak to the ultimate question.
My daughter would be a late witness.
Oh. Let's talk a little about Sarah. How old was Sarah?
Oh, real quick, briefly, yeah, don't say that fucker murdered her. Well, I mean, that person murdered her.
Which one are you
Okay.
referring to? Isaiah P.
Can I be like, that someone in here
I didn't know.
murdered?
Did you say that?
No.
Let the record show he was rubbing his mustache towards the defendant.
I can print out, yeah.
She was 14.
This is
My
not
God.
my case file.
Please describe Sarah for
Wait,
the jury.
wait. If he does speak to the ultimate issue, how do you respond to that?
I won't.
Your Honor, apologies, I'll rephrase.
Yeah, it's pretty much recouping and I murdered your husband after the round.
Well, that's what the guy did in the second round on Saturday. He pointed and he said, that man killed her.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that is exactly what you need to do. Objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
Pursuant to Rule 704, a lay witness is not permitted to speak to the ultimate issue. That is a
Remember that.
decision made by the trier of fact.
704, say that again.
Yes, and then add that.
Pursuant to Rule 704, a lay witness is not permitted to speak to the ultimate issue.
I didn't know how to object to it. That's why I let it fly in the round 2.
She looked at me, she was like, and I was like, I don't know.
I knew that I had to object, but if I stood up and just went, objection?
I smiled at him when he said it.
Objection! You can't say that.
Like, I already did it once in the day. I was like, I don't think I want to go for a second
Oh,
strike.
no, he did.
A lay witness is not permitted to speak to
The ultimate issue.
the ultimate issue. Please describe Sarah for the judge. Do you want your You want your Peter? You good?
For what?
This?
What is this?
Okay. Please describe Sarah for the jury. Remember, like, just come.
Bless
Bless
you.
you. Like, you know, my little girl, my only child.
She was an amazing young lady. She was so smart, and she's playing softball.
You're talking
just-
about us?
Like the Backstreet Boys.
She loved the Backstreet Boys.
They were really good.
That away.
And I mean, I could get on board with the one with the crazy hair, but the others were just okay.
Did you tell, David, did you hear that?
What?
She overheard Nick and Ashley like reaming about us.
Yeah, I was like in the lobby of the third floor, like doing work, and they were in a study room, and like someone came by to talk to them, and the door open, and they were just like, I could hear Ashley going on, and like they went on about like how pissed they were about Saturday, and I was
What were
like,
they saying?
I don't know, I wasn't like, I could hear your names, and then they were like,
Their tone of voice.
they were saying they should have been meaner or something, like inside the courtroom.
They
They couldn't have been much meaner.
They should have been meaner?
Yeah,
Because, you know, courtroom demeanor.
they weren't being hard enough on you guys or something.
They already got beat up for their lack of composure during
They
the
were
trial.
so bad. Like, at one point, they're like, you guys had objection leading the witness, and he said, that's not leading the witness. I was just asking him if he did this, this, and this after this. And I was just like, I'm not in law school, and that is the definition of leading.
They were all heated. I was laughing.
They
I'm not a
were,
very good
I
person.
mean, you can imagine how they were during the trial.
Well, they were saying that they like didn't object at some of the like that they had more objections they should have used, and so the guy was like telling them ones that they should have used.
They objected every other
I
sentence.
really wish they had used more objections then, because they told us all
Yeah.
that we were objecting too much
4
already.
on their objections. A 4.
I don't know anything about this.
Out of 10.
I didn't know what this case is really that about this much. I will by time, but I'm just gonna say that that was what they were saying, and I was like, oh, they were mad they lost.
Of course they were mad that they lost.
They will.
You know what? I really hope they get meaner. I really hope they get bitch-tastic meaner
And I
in
hope
those
that
first
they
two
then
rounds.
say like there were plenty of objections that they were missing. I hope they use those.
No, because if they get that mean as they want to be, they'll get knocked out after the first 2 rounds.
An attorney will tear them apart.
I
Yeah.
really hope that that's the
There-
case.
Attorneys are the judges,
okay.
right?
I'm gonna warn you
Hell with them.
right
Like,
now.
not literally hell, but it was.
So, Mamie, I'm gonna warn you right now. There is nothing like getting told everything you did wrong by an attorney. It's painful, and the first time that they really treat you like you're an idiot when you're objecting, it hurts and it sucks, and you kind of want to crawl into a hole and die. Just poker face your way through it.
We can cry about it
You
afterward.
may have to recoup me after each round.
I'm gonna be like, get up and object to this! Come on! I'm like, I'm so If you can
Objection,
get
oh my
through
God.
the-
I don't know!
If you can get through the first round with attorneys, you'll be fine. I'm sure.
Let's turn our attention to the evening of August 13th, 2012,
Sure, let's do
the
that.
night of Sarah's disappearance.
I recall. Thank you for reminding me of that horrible evening.
Mr. Salmon, where were you on the night of August 13th, 2012?
I came home around 6:15 from work. Sarah was doing homework. I like to make it home in time for family dinners.
Was Sarah home?
Yes, she was doing her homework, listening to Backstreet Boys CD. Not at this time, though.
I could tell that it was on in her head though. She had an ear for music and was bobbing along.
Were you home all evening?
I went for a jog around 7:30, but I was back by 8.
Could you tell the jury what happened that evening?
Well, after dinner, we did dinner after, right?
Yeah, after the three of us ate dinner. You ran after. I will never understand how you ran right after
I
dinner.
know, that's just an awful idea. I felt so sick, so we just sat around and watched TV for the rest of the evening. And, oh my god, that's amazing.
Zombie snowman.
Do you see my Facebook post? When we're in property and it's snowing
I had
outside?
a snow day in DC today.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
We're doing that next time it snows. There are so many little kids in our complex.
I thought that was hilarious.
So you're going to be the parents that scar your children.
Yeah, not our children, other children.
Okay, that works.
Our children will help scar other children.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have
Hopefully you didn't scar Sarah. So could you tell the jury what you did this evening?
I mean, bruise, yes. Scar, not really. No. Sorry.
If you say that, I will personally take you out.
Permission to strike.
Your Honor, permission to treat this.
Here's your
witness as
permission to
assault.
strike. Take my belts off.
Just remember, discipline, abuse.
You can't see that much sometimes on these cameras. I would not want to sit right where the camera's being.
I always give my daughter compliments. They're backhanded, but
Go on, counselor.
I'd like to turn your attention to the following morning. What happened the next morning?
when I woke up, went to check on Sarah and she was not in her bed. I thought she was either in the bathroom or the kitchen, and after checking both, she wasn't there, so I started calling her name and my wife woke up.
And what did the two of you do?
Well, we searched all over the house and we couldn't find her. Her window was open and the screen was missing, which was kind of strange, and so we called the police.
And what happened when the police arrived?
They... oh shit, I don't know.
You want your computer? I know you have
I've got this thing. So when they arrived, I don't know, what do you want me to say?
You told them about the night before, and then, or, I mean, you can even combine the two. It's just like, they looked in the
That's a good
room,
word.
they asked your wife questions about Sarah, and then I'll ask you what kind of questions they asked, which leads to the whole, like, running away possibility.
Okay, gotcha. I told them all about the night before, as I just described here.
Okay. And did the police, that's a leading question.
What's the question?
Well, Paul would have said something about how the police asked him and his wife about questions about Sarah, and I was going to ask what type of questions.
He didn't say that.
He didn't say questions.
Well, then I'll make sure to say it.
Yeah.
I told them all about the night before, and they asked us some questions about Sarah.
What were the type of questions they asked?
Just about her friends, if she was having trouble at school, if she'd ever run away before, but she hadn't.
And she...
Sorry,
Okay.
was that your next question?
So what, if anything else, did the police do?
They searched her, they looked around the house, they checked her room. Nothing seemed disturbed or out of the ordinary.
Do you know if the police spoke with anyone else other than you and Mrs. Salmon?
Objection, speculation.
I do know because the police told me so, counsel. Sorry.
Counselor, your witness's response, while good, is not necessarily going to be considered, considering that you're currently at the bench in a constructive sidebar and outside of the presence of the jury. Response to speculation?
What was your response? Do you want the script?
I have a script.
Do you want the script she wrote?
Maybe so.
What does speculation mean? Don't look at your evidence. Just tell me what
He's
speculation means.
speculating as to what they might have done.
It means he's guessing.
Oh, okay. That's a much shorter way of putting it.
Oh, I'm totally gonna get group of the groper in
Go for it. I don't care.
before they can object.
Anyway,
If I had to fight that off, I will fight get it in.
response to speculation.
Your Honor, it's not speculation because the witness can speak to his own knowledge.
Okay.
Good job.
The police informed me that they talked to some of my neighbors.
I might cut that question out, it's kind of irrelevant. Okay, I'd like to talk to you about Richard Gruber. Do you know Richard Gruber?
Yes.
I wish I could live 2 houses down.
He lived 2 houses down from us.
In that time, what opinions have you formed of him?
So I should say he moved in a couple of years ago.
Oh, he only moved in a year ago.
He moved in last year.
He lives 2 doors down from us and he moved in last year.
And in that time, what opinions have you formed of him?
Seemed like a normal guy. Would see him at neighborhood picnics occasionally, or he'd be out walking his dog. We never, really spoke any more than, passing cordials. But
That's why I was so shocked when I found out.
that's why I was so shocked when I found out about his past.
You can say, blatantly say, like, I want out of your mouth that he was a sex offender.
When I found out that he was a sex offender, a predator upon little girls,
Yeah, remember, you're the father now. You
a
want
disgusting,
security.
filthy pervert living 2 doors down.
Objection, improper
Lowering my
character
property
evidence.
values
This is improper character evidence. He is testifying.
and being a disgusting son of a bitch.
How did you find out
Final
he was a
round.
sex offender?
Counselor, response to improper character evidence?
Your Honor, the witness is merely testifying to his opinion of the defendant that he has formulated, which, what's the argument?
Propensity.
Yeah. Which gives the propensity of the case?
You would hope it, better hope it's not propensity.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't want to argue for propensity. Propensity is like you're showing that he's.
Because of a sex offender, I'm more likely to commit it again.
Status, he committed this crime this time.
You know what's another good one? Well, no, because you're talking about his opinion, so you can't really say, well, it's stipulated to that he's a sex offender. Counselor, his opinion, or, Your Honor, his opinion of the defendant doesn't go to his propensity for anything. It's just stating an opinion. This is not speaking to his character or a character trait.
I was telling Mike earlier that you have a difficult 2 witnesses because it's like emotional.
It's all the improper character evidence shit. Your Honor, this isn't to the propensity, but to the witness's opinion of the defendant.
Susie.
How did you find out he was a sex offender?
The police informed me during their investigation.
And what did the police tell you?
They said he'd be convicted of molesting teenage girls, and that he'd gotten out of prison a few years ago. And
Clearly, if we've stipulated that that's going to stay out, I won't ask you that question.
Okay.
Yes. But what did you do after the police told you?
I went online to a website that listed sex.
Objection, hearsay?
Response to hearsay?
It's the effect on the listener. This one.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter, like, that, you're not gonna say.
I'm not trying to argue the truth of what he found on the website. It affected his
perception.
It affected what he did after, and also his perception of the defendant, which is what he formulated his opinions on.
Is there a specific rule for effect on the listener, Carrie, or do you just say like, Your Honor, this is he's not testifying to the truth of the matter asserted, he's merely testifying to the effect on the listener and why he did this afterwards?
So there are secret hearsay exceptions. They're not in a rule. They just exist because we know that they exist. Basically, anything that you, like, it's effect on the listener or the declarant's state of mind, but not 8033. I mean, that kind of stuff, it's saying, we don't care what the person actually said, we just need it to show this purpose or that purpose.
Okay.
So, objection, hearsay, Your Honor, this isn't, this is for the effect on the listener as Mr. Salmon, as it formulated a part of Mr. Salmon's opinion, as his discoveries formulated Mr. Salmon's opinion of this part of the defendant. And this is where you're going to try to get a group of the Grover.
Oh, I know.
Excuse me.
No, I'm gonna do it really slow and then just.
What? I would like to know, because I
How do you
fought against
respond to
it.
this?
What's the best way to get it in?
Group or the Groper?
Uh-huh.
It's not coming in.
It's not going to come in?
No.
Should I even bother trying then?
Oh, I'm gonna get it out.
You kept
They
it
can have
out.
it struck.
Oh no, I kept it out, but no
Did you
one
guys
had
go
typed it in.
against Zach last week because he said he mistakenly said it
No.
in the middle of like.
After they said to keep it out?
Like, no, he just like flat out just didn't even realize he had done it. Like he was one of you guys, and he was like, and he said, "What do you think of Mr. Gruber or Grover or something?"
Oh,
That's
he
fantastic. No, okay, so let him go ahead and try and say it.
Uh-huh.
Because if they're not Johnny on the spot and they're not objection, improper character evidence, it's in. It's in.
At that point, do I just go, well, okay.
You don't go
Move
ahead.
on. So no, here's the thing. He gets it in, objection, improper character evidence. Do I just say, I'll withdraw the question?
No. You go ahead, you argue, you let them show, Your Honor, this doesn't go to Mr. Gruber's propensity. This is not propensity evidence, rather, this is merely a characterization of his previous offense that has been stipulated to.
Yeah, that's essentially what they had argued last time.
Furthermore, it is probative of his character? Don't say that.
Character? Question mark?
Okay.
I liked also what you said before when you were like, Your Honor, or they had said like, Your Honor, this information does not describe the acts that he like committed, but merely is a generalization of the crime that we've already stipulated is in evidence or something like that. Like a general description or something.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was.
No, when they made that argument, I remember standing up there, staring at the judge going, huh? I was like, that second word is exactly what he was convicted for, which we have agreed to keep out.
Yeah, we said he's
And
a sex offender,
redacted.
but we agreed not to.
If they stipulate to it,
We didn't stipulate to it.
Don't.
We said they said I will wait until it happens,
yeah.
and then they tried to when they entered the sex offender registry.
Oh yeah,
form
I had
is
to
when-
argue to keep that out.
She argued to keep it out, and then finally we
We just
got
agreed to
redacted.
redact
Yeah,
it,
I redacted the description of what he actually did.
and they didn't put much of a fight on that, did they?
No.
Oh no, they did. And then the judge ruled that that could stay out.
yeah, if they
right?
reserve ruling, you can talk about it.
No, but so when they ruled that that part was redacted, is why that's what I argued. I was like, that's what has been redacted. We've agreed to keep it out.
Do we have a lot of reading regards tomorrow?
15 pages.
Not much.
Wow, you really know that map.
I drew it yesterday.
He drew it for me. So I was writing all the directions
He's totally correcting me right now.
with, from memory.
What did you do after the police told you?
What did I do? I went on to a website that listed sex offenders to see if it was confirmed, and sure enough, Group of the Groper was right there.
Objection, improper character
Oh my God,
evidence,
that's a great way to
403.
be it. Your Honor, this doesn't go to propensity, but rather a characterization of his previous offense that has been stipulated to.
I'm actually going to sustain your objection. Move to strike. Granted.
Now, Mr. Salmon, I know this question will be hard for you. How did you feel when the police found Sarah?
Devastated. Some hikers apparently found her body, and the police say they don't know how Sarah died, but I just know that Gruber killed her.
Objection, Your Honor. The witnesses.
No, but I know it. It's
The witnesses, what was that?
Objection, Your Honor.
Testifying to the ultimate.
Pursuant to Rule 704,
704,
a lay witness is not permitted to testify to the ultimate issue.
The ultimate issue.
I'm sitting. I am not.
So you're the mean dad?
Sorry.
Yeah. We're running prosecution witnesses right
He's
now.
the mean dad, and he's the groper.
Yeah. He's
Which
the
good.
I'm a schizophrenic, homicidal man.
who was able to maintain 2 different homes, 2 houses down from each other.
Yeah.
And then your redirects.
HOA fees, I actually got a discount.
Your redirects is, if it comes in, I'll ask you how did your wife handle Sarah's murder, 'cause if they do the whole
Well, great, right up until she killed herself.
yeah. Why would you want to leave Tahoe? You have all this. Okay. Oh, I hate arguing this shit. Okay. Mr. Salmon, let's talk about Richard Gruber. You attended neighborhood picnics
Yes,
where Richard Gruber was also in attendance.
yes,
You thought Mr. Gruber was a nice guy.
I thought,
Then you learned he was a sex offender, correct?
yes.
It was only after you learned he was a sex offender that you thought he was a bad guy. I was like, do I really need to impeach you right now? Mr. Salmon, let's discuss the evening Sarah disappeared.
I don't want to.
You went to wake up Sarah. This is not the evening of. Let's discuss the morning Sarah disappeared.
No.
I'm gonna have to edit that. You went to wake up Sarah at 6:30 a.m.
Yes,
The window was open.
yes,
The screen was out of the window.
yes.
But there didn't appear to be a struggle in Sarah's bedroom, correct?
Correct.
Now, Mr. Salmon, let's talk about what happened after Sarah was killed. Sarah disappeared on August 13th, 2012. And Sarah's body was discovered 1 week later.
Yeah,
Your deposition was taken on September 25th, 2012,
I believe so.
41 days after Sarah disappeared and died.
The police are just stupid.
Objection, 403, this is going to leave the jury to decide on improper basis. Relevance. I don't like what they're saying.
Oh, that's right. What's that writing? This is relevant because it goes to the credibility of the witness.
Yes, sir?
You had a life insurance policy on Sarah,
Yes.
and that life insurance policy was $250,000.
Objection, relevance.
Your Honor, the prosecution has asserted that the Salmons were a loving family, and this merely indicates the type of actions Mr. Salmon took for his family.
Or, maybe it goes to his credibility.
His what?
His credibility?
It would go to his credibility?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the amount?
It's providing context for the jury.
And because they fought me on the amounts. This provides context for the jury. What kind of context? This isn't necessary context. They've established she has a life insurance policy.
Yeah, it's just adding context for the jury.
Yeah. Okay. And you collected on that life insurance policy within those 41 days?
Yes,
You're planning to move to Hawaii
that's correct.
with your secretary.
She's been there for me throughout this entire awful process after my daughter was killed and then after my wife died.
So you are moving to Hawaii with your secretary, correct?
Yes.
And your wife is now dead.
Yes.
Your wife died 2 weeks after Sarah's body was found.
Objection, relevance. And
No.
403.
My wife died the day we found out about Sarah. Her body left us shortly thereafter.
Response to relevance. Tell me why you want this information in.
The secretary brought me back from the break.
Your Honor, this is relevant because it goes to the credibility of the witness. And
Counselor, what about your response to the assertion that this will confuse the jury and ask them to decide on an improper basis by implying that Paul Salmon in fact killed his wife?
What?
let's say, Your Honor, it is up to the prosecution to prove the matter at hand. I'm merely indicating the other possible theories in this case.
Don't say that.
What was it that they said? to
They
us?
said that by speaking to Paul's character, you are also, wait, are you the defense right now?
Yeah.
You're speaking to, this issue is relevant in terms of providing,
Yeah, no, they said something about the theories of the case.
supporting alternative theories
Oh.
to the case.
That is relevant. That is relevant.
Yeah.
But it still has to overcome the 403 bar.
Which is the
Substantially prejudicial. And now you just have to make an argument that this is probative into Paul Salmon's credibility as witness. How schmucky you actually are, Mr. Salmon. We see right through you. We know you shot your wife.
I didn't shoot her.
You're right. You just put the gun in her hand and told her to shoot herself.
Well, she's
You
very
have nothing to
professional.
live for anyway. Might as well.
So it is relevant to supporting alternative theories of the case. For a third objection, it is more probative because it goes to the credibility of the witness, which is a factor in the alternative theories.
There you go.
Your wife died 2 weeks after Sarah's body was found.
Yes.
You claim she killed herself.
Yes.
You also have a life insurance policy on your wife.
You can get a little bit, like, questioning about this. You also have a life insurance policy on your wife.
Not mean though.
Not mean, just kind of like skeptical, inquisitive, and.
So, okay. So I'm gonna kind of. You're planning to move to Hawaii
Yes.
with your secretary.
She's been there with me through this whole ordeal, dealing with the media and the pain and grief surrounding my daughter's death,
And my sexual.
my wife's death, and the sex has been great. I mean,
Your plan is to move to Hawaii with your secretary, correct?
I like to think of her as more than a secretary, but yes.
Works for me. Your wife is dead.
Yes, thank you for handling that tenderly.
She died.
Your wife is dead.
She died 2 weeks after Sarah's body was found.
Yeah.
You claim she killed herself.
Yeah.
You also have a life insurance policy on your wife?
Yeah, it was mostly for Sarah's benefit in case something happened to us.
And this policy is worth $1 million.
Yes.
You haven't received payment yet on this policy
No.
because the insurance adjuster says your wife's death is suspicious, correct?
Somebody object. Thank you.
Relevance?
403.
Or 403? And 403. Objection on relevance and 403, Your Honor.
And 724.
Again, it is relevant to supporting alternative theories of this case, and it's more probative because it goes to the credibility of the witness.
And Counselor, what about your assertion that this is going to confuse the jury by making them try to send Paul Salmon to jail or punishing him? Fuck if I know.
Am I on trial here? My daughter is dead.
This provides context for the alternative theories for the jury in determining this case.
I'll allow it. Counselor, we're back to imposing sanctions.
No further questions.
That's it?
I have nothing to cross-examine.
Any redirects?
Yeah. Like if that, I don't think he's ready for this, so, How did your wife handle Sarah's murder?
Not so good. Bang, bang.
I mean, yeah, it kind of doesn't. She was just so upset over the fact that we had not protected Sarah from this sex offender. She was so upset by her disappearance that
She was devastated when she found out we had this pervert 2 doors down.
Pretty much. And why would you want to leave Tahoe?
Would you want to stay in a place that constantly, every day, reminds you of your dead daughter and wife?
Can you pose questions on the stand?
Shouldn't.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
It's a rhetorical
Yeah.
question. I expect you to answer it.
I had this in.
But you have this all in your
where I
email.
say.
Awesome. We
to
can
the
run through it again
detective,
if you want to through
To
it.
her direct. Please let the
Sure.
record reflect, I'm sure your opposing counsel has previously remarked to exhibit C. Should I do that? With the math? It's on the scale, but yes, it's a fair enough.
The fun part about this
Really like
is
this
you,
show.
Just use it as a demonstrative. Okay.
so as you're kind of
There's
saying,
really no
like,
good way
as
to
we're
do
doing
it.
this.
Right.
these
So I can
objections
just say,
are how we handle objections and
Again, like, Your
when,
Honor, this is not going to
have you ever done
be
this
truth
before?
of the
Have you done
matter,
this? When
assertive,
your opposing counsel
it's just going
objects,
to
just stop
And there
talking.
you're
the
really
jury
Let us handle it, and
to
then
a hearsay objection, which you don't need to do. Your Honor, this is
Okay.
not being offered as evidence, rather it is being
Cool.
used as a for demonstrative purposes
You Dave.
to aid the jury in understanding the testimony.
You're like, if
Okay.
you want, ready.
And I can again say at the beginning.
No, I literally wear a mom necklace.
Yes.
Okay.
Riza,
Yes?
she wants to show up in a kitty sweater and a mom necklace.
You didn't let me be a detective.
You can do that as a detective too if you want.
With cowboy boots, please.
And a sheriff's badge.
Or you could wear the suit, just do a kitty pin.
A big glittery one.
Yeah, you're in Texas. Go big or go home.
I have a cross-examination for a witness tomorrow that is,
Like 10 lines.
you have like 10 lines long. This witness doesn't have a statement. I have nothing to cross-examine him on. I am fucked. Sorry, that was personal bitching.
Objection relevance?
Mrs. Fish, please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name.
My name is Casey Fish. My last name is
Because there's no
spelled
statement.
F-I-S-H.
And why are you here today?
I am here because I am neighbors of both Mr. Solomon and.
But do not give me a
So it's salmon, like the fish? We finally figured that out. Grouper, salmon, mackerel, fish,
weird.
Tarpon.
tarpon. They're all
Remember
fishes.
spell fish F-I-S-H and not P-H-I-S-H.
Yeah. Pretty much. Oh, and just a quick note. When I'm directing you and just in general,
What?
when I'm asking you a question, look at me. And then when you're answering the question, you're gonna look at the judges
Wait.
and the jury.
When you're asking, look at you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when you
give your
answer,
answer to the judge.
so if it helps, I noticed he did this in round 2. You like totally planted your feet.
Oh yeah, it was great
Yeah.
advice.
No, I noticed that his feet were firmly planted. I was like, that's such
And
a
it helps you
master
not
thing.
fidget.
Yeah. So if it helps, when we're in there, you can just kind of position so that you're facing them essentially, so that you have to turn to talk to me, and then when you start to talk, you'll just kind of naturally talk to me.
Hopefully they'll have swivel chairs.
I don't know, at CU, they're into some pretty hippie shit up there.
Hemp
Train you with.
I
The
don't
mesh on
know.
these chairs is actually pure hemp.
CU's law school is actually nicer than this one now, I just repelled it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd like to ask you about your opinions of Mr. Gruber. Do you have any opinions of Mr. Gruber?
Seems like a nice guy.
The key thing that I want out of this is that he was willing to help you.
Oh.
Like he was a neighborly guy that he would help
He
you
was
out.
neighborly, he one time helped me move a Petty Peach, a piece of furniture I
Petty
purchased into my home.
Peach. James and the Giant Peach. That was the first kids show I ever saw that contained a curse word. That was a big issue of that. That was the first time it ever really happened.
What do they say?
Was it? Ooh, something I can't remember. But it happened while they were on the beach.
Now they say hell on Fox, and bitch on Fox.
What do you know of Mr. Gruber?
This is a question about the sexual, or the,
Oh, ass. Sorry.
That's what it was. Yeah. I thought it was that. Because fuck was a little too much back then.
Still, for children's book,
Yeah.
it's-
But it was ass, and I remember it was a huge deal. Parents were up in riots. What do you know of Mr. Gruber?
according to neighborhood gossip, he was a convicted sex offender.
Wait, no, wrong. Oh, no, I was waiting for her to object. I knew it was coming.
Objection! Improper character evidence.
Oh, what is
Speculation. Hearsay.
According to, oh, there's. Oh, no.
Do you have a class right now?
Huh?
No, she-
That was just,
Yeah.
Wafa. Dude, she writes a lot. And she's published a lot.
She's probably just looking for an empty classroom to work in.
No, she is, yeah. So what do you know of Mr. Gruber?
Mr. Luther is a convicted sex offender.
Objection, hearsay, speculation.
King County got Sunday tomorrow.
Your Honor, presumptively, this is someone that was active in the community. This has become a public case. When one person learned about it, it's likely the information was passed throughout the neighborhood.
Like foundation.
Then, Your Honor, may I lay some foundation?
You certainly may.
Actually, it never says how she found out.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But you can establish, I was active in my neighborhood. We talked to each other a lot.
It's a small neighborhood. There are only 3 houses on the map.
And I live in number 3.
Oh, this is why you have to mention that you went to neighborhood picnics and stuff.
Yes.
That's why. That's why you have to mention you went to neighborhood picnics, because that establishes a foundation for the fact that you would have heard this through the neighborhood grapevine.
Okay.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I did something in here to help with that. So I'd like to now discuss with you the victim. Do you know Sarah Salmon?
Yes. Oh. Yes.
How do you know Sarah?
Sarah and my son would sometimes walk home from school together, and she'd come in for a snack. Wrong?
No. No.
What was I supposed to?
Oh, I see. You skipped ahead.
I skipped ahead. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Okay.
I'm gonna have to change it chapter name. That's my fault. So
No.
you were led to improper. No. So
No, you asked me that, and then I said.
I shouldn't have said I'd like to now discuss with you the victim.
I messed up.
So how do you? Let me ask you that. Do you know if Sarah knew Mr. Gruber?
I would see her playing with his dog in his yard, and he would usually shoo her off.
In your opinion, why would Mr. Gruber send Sarah away?
Probably as part of his sex offense. He wasn't allowed to contact children.
Let's discuss your relationship with Sarah. Have you ever spoken with her?
Yes. She would come over to the house when she walked home with my son sometimes and have a snack.
What would she talk about?
Well, the usual teen stuff. There's something in there. But she often complained about how her father beat her.
You can reword that if you want, but it's pretty much it. She complained that her father would beat her.
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, this is hearsay, but it's admissible hearsay pursuant to 8033, because this goes to the emotional condition of Sarah prior to her disappearance.
How does her father beating her go to Sarah's emotional condition?
It establishes a reason for why she was at the defendant's home that night.
Because
Because of her emotional condition. Because she was being beaten. Can I just say, because she was being beaten that night?
yeah, because you're outside of the presence of the jury.
Oh. We are?
So especially when you're going to be saying something like because she was beaten, Your Honor, if we may constructive sidebar, but a lot of times the judge will say, we're constructively outside of the presence of the jury.
And if they don't say that, I can just go ahead and just assert that. I guess that's what I'm always worried about. Like, can I say statements like that? Because
Just say, Your Honor, if we may be constructively outside the presence of the jury or constructive sidebar. That says, I'm going to tell you stuff that the jury may or may not be able to hear depending on your ruling.
May we have a constructive sidebar? And then, okay.
And then you
why?
can explain, connect the
She was
inferential
being
dots.
beaten that night, and this is why she ended up leaving her home that night and went to the defendant's home. It helps to establish a timeline.
Right. And don't
And
add
her-
that it helps to establish timeline. It helps to establish
Her emotional condition.
why she was leaving, her mental planning at that point. Something along those lines. But yeah, because in objection responses, you're allowed to connect the inferential dots for the judges. They need to know why this shit is relevant.
Okay.
When, if ever, did she say her father would beat her?
Oh, when she didn't get her homework done right, when she came home from school, or she didn't get A's in all of her classes.
Yeah, she was whipped with the belt. That's what he did. He whipped his daughter with a belt.
You can't prove that. I'm not on trial here. Shut up.
So when, if ever, did she say her father would beat her?
If she didn't get A's in all of her classes, or came home and didn't do her homework right away, he would whip her with a belt.
Did you believe her when she complained about these beatings?
Sure, I met Mr. Salmon. He seemed sort of like a mean guy. What was I supposed to say?
Knowing Mr. Salmon. When you say he was a mean guy, what do you mean? Or what are you referring to?
He always needed to have control over every situation. We'd go to neighborhood picnics, and it seems he was the only one who knew how to light a grill or set up a volleyball net.
True.
And have you ever seen how Mr. Salmon treated his wife?
Objection, relevant.
Your Honor, her observations and opinions of Mr. Salmon's behavior towards Mrs. Salmon is a part of her evaluation and opinions of Sarah's statements pursuant to 404. Wait, why did you, never mind, strike that last part. Just that argument. You told me to look at evidence rule 404.
Because I think it would probably go more to Paul Salmon's character evidence. But it also goes to the witness's credibility.
Oh, at that end as well?
It's irrelevant because it goes to Mr. Salmon's opinions and credibility towards his family.
And it goes to Mr. Salmon's credibility. I don't know if it'll go to the opinions of his family.
No, but it does go to his credibility.
Credibility.
Ha! I don't have any credibility. Joke's on.
Reza, after this, do you want to just
I
show
can
me
go
the
through
papers that you have for
I'm
prosecution
trying to like.
defense?
The what?
So I can work that in, the themes for prosecution defense.
I don't have the theme for defense.
Prosecution, I just kind of want to see what you have so I can work that into my.
Yeah, I can do it out loud too.
Awesome. In your opinion, how did Mr. Salmon appear to treat his wife?
Poorly, he looked down on her for working a part-time job, even though, as I understood, the pair had agreed upon that so she could be home and Sarah got back from school every day.
Have you seen Miss? Oh, you covered that already. Now, Mrs. Fish, let's move to the afternoon of Sarah's disappearance. You mentioned you live next door to Mr. Cooper. Do you see his house from yours? That's not leading, is it? No.
Oh, yes, I did.
It is, but
You
it's
added
foundational.
those.
Okay. Leading.
But yeah, I guess I can, because that's how I knew Sarah was playing in the yard with God.
What, if anything, did you notice about Mr. Cooper's house that day?
He seemed to have a friend come in from out of town, who pulled up in a airport shuttle and got out, and he came out and met her, and the pair went inside.
No further questions at this time? So, you're...
Oh, you need to ask me more questions? Am I supposed to only answer little bits? See?
No, that's okay. If you do that, I will just kind of work. No, just as long as you know it really well. So I would look over it a few more times, and we'll run through it again.
All right, ladies, I got to
Go to class.
go and be ethical.
Cool. Fish. Cross.
Probably
See how you
work on
handle
my
these
cross
questions.
Being ethical.
Okay. Mrs. Fish, let's talk about Sarah
I
Salmon.
think we're just gonna run through our openings. and-
Now, Mrs. Fish, you're a mother.
Yes.
You guys are.
If someone was
looking like you're
beating
pretty good
your son
shape.
Kevin, you would report it to the police.
Yeah, I just
Yes,
wanna
I
get
would.
the,
And
target
Sarah told you that Mr.
down,
Salmon was beating
especially
her.
with the
Yes, she did.
demonstrative. No.
You didn't confront Mr.
I
Salmon?
just want you
No, I
guys to
just
stay
go someplace.
safe.
Me too.
You also never talked to Mrs. Salmon about it.
Every year,
Again,
I'm like,
I didn't want to get in the middle of.
guess I'm pretty glad you guys
Never
rejected
mind.
me. What?
You also never reported it.
No, I did not.
And you never went to the police about it?
Just be like, you could have had
Because I didn't
this.
report it, I
You
obviously.
could have all of this.
And then throw them in.
You did not do anything
you
to
guys-
try to help a child who told you that she was being beaten, correct?
I don't even
I
watch this
didn't
movie.
see it
Yeah,
as
it
my
smells.
Wait, am I supposed to say yes?
No, that's fine. No,
You
no,
said
this
that's
is,
fine.
this is fine. Because you're my witness, someone else is gonna be crossing you. So I want you, yeah, things like that are fine. Is there only a 50-50 chance they even get to play?
No, you will definitely be
No, you'll definitely
the
play.
defense